I'm Chris Hershberger. I'm in the States. I'm in Texas, where it's really, really hot right now. Um, I am a technology. Well, technically, I am a investment guy turned technologist turned digital marketer. So in my previous life, I actually was a stockbroker and investment banker. And then I got out of that industry to move into technology and eventually into digital marketing. I've been very fortunate to work with great brands, especially here in the States and globally. I helped Michael's Stores, which is a very large retail operation here in the States in the arts and crafts industry. We had 1,200 stores. I was one of the first to basically start their digital marketing team. And then I've worked with some really, really big agencies. I worked with a small agency that got bought out by Omnicom, which I'm sure you're familiar with over there in Europe. And then I also worked with Edelman, who's the largest PR agency in the world, which you're probably familiar with over there as well. So I've had a lot of experiences in life, and I would say that I'm probably a little bit older than most startup founders, but I'd like to think that that my wisdom and my experience brings a little bit something special. Mobeo Media. One of the things that I've learned over the past is that when I spent my time at Michael's and we had those 1,200 stores, one of the programs that I was responsible for was a local marketing program, and the challenge is that at that particular time, you had these general managers that would run these stores, but it was important for them to produce local marketing initiatives. They needed those stores to be part of those communities. The challenge is that most of them weren't marketers, right? And they weren't creative people. So the end result that they would deliver out would be, maybe a flyer or something that they would produce and put on the front of the store, and it did not, let's just say it did not meet brand requirements. So we worked on a system to help kind of alleviate some of the pain and some of the challenges that those general managers were having at the store level. And so if you fast forward to today, because that was almost 10 years ago, one of the things that I kind of experienced, because I actually launched Mobeo in the middle of COVID, right when it first started. And I think one of the driving factors is that I saw a lot of small independent stores starting to close the doors for obvious reasons. And I've always had a love for retail and consumer. I always tell people, I'd much rather see coming soon signs than closing soon signs. And so I started thinking, like, how do small independent stores team up with the big brands that they sell to market more effectively? And then I started flipping it on its head, thinking about, like, well, how do big brands, global brands, can put together initiatives in their marketing, but yet have an impact down at a very local level? And the reason why this doesn't take place now is because it's really hard to do, and it's really hard to scale. So from an agency perspective, what we do is we use technology to basically create a custom experience based at a store level. Meaning, I'll just give you an example. So let's say Pepsi, sold globally, sold in all different types of stores. Pepsi's all about the branding, right? Pepsi wants to be top of mind when you go into a convenience store or a grocery store or what have you, which is great for Pepsi, but not necessarily for the stores that sell Pepsi. And I'm not saying that Pepsi's against the stores. It's just the fact that Pepsi can't show love to every single store that it sells its product into. That's what we're solving for. We're actually putting a platform together so Pepsi can now run campaigns that actually not only support their product, but support the stores that carry their products. So instead of seeing a Pepsi campaign that's just branding, where you're trying top of mind, you can actually now see a localized Pepsi campaign that calls out a very specific convenience store, a very specific grocery store, corner store, whoever that might carry the product. And this goes across any type of product that you can find that's sold at multiple locations. Ray-Ban sunglasses, Levi jeans, alcohol brands, you name it. All of them spend money lots and lots of money to make sure that their products are the ones that are being bought off the shelf, but they've never been able to actually tie that experience down to the actual store that's selling the product. And that's what we do. We create that. We make it easier for brands and their local partners to dominate their local space, from the brand all the way down to the shopping basket.